Second month has gone by, albeit a short one. It's time for a small wrap-up of what happened. So looking at my activity for this past month, I knew that my cycling would not be the same level as it usually is because I was away for about 10 days. And so considering that February was also a shorter month, I cycled about 80 to 90 kilometers less than usual. So that needs to be taken into consideration. Step count was about the same as usual, 10, 11, maybe 12,000 steps on average. So I did take all of this into account when I was thinking about how much I was going to eat. And I'm noticing that even though I dropped my food intake by quite a big chunk, it was almost about 500 calories on average, my weight still went up. Considerations on that, probably the biggest increase in weight happened at the beginning of the month while I was still on the short of 4,000 calories per day on average. So that's where the most weight was gained, and I've probably now settled around 75, between 75 and 75 and a half. So glad to see that even with a smaller food intake, I was still able to gain some weight. Another experiment that I'm starting to run is decreasing the amount of protein that I get daily on average. Just basically trying to find out if a lower protein consumption, and by lower I mean relatively lower because we're still talking over 100 grams of protein per day, is negatively affecting my performance or my ability to possibly getting stronger. And this is what wasn't exactly reflected in this monthly report, let's call it, because I started doing a lower protein intake over the last couple of weeks only. So maybe in March it will be something that pops up a bit more in terms of numbers. Still managed to gain almost 1 kilo this month compared to about 700 grams the previous one. When I did my first monthly wrap-up, I did not consider my average weight compared to the previous month, and so I was actually incorrect by saying that I had not gained any weight. And also considering that the previous month I actually PR'd in most of my lifts, that was probably a dumb thing to say. I should have checked first. But I'm really having a lot of fun tracking all these different parameters, be it my training program, my food intake, my activity levels. This is something that I'm gonna refine over time, and it's gonna get ever more useful as I'm getting more experience with everything. Ciao.